Hello, piano students. Today we're going to talk a bit about rhythm. The rhythm is the heart and the soul of all of the songs that you're ever going to play. It's what gives you the feel. Some people call it the feel. Some people call it timing. Some people just call it groove. But rhythm gives your music so much character and it makes it so awesome. So I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the rhythm in the song that I'm playing right now. I'm using a rhythm that has 16th notes in it, and some of you guys haven't seen 16th notes yet. So if this is totally new to you, I'll try and walk you through it a bit. Some of you have seen 16th notes, and so for you it might be kind of interesting to see what they can do. So we're gonna get into it, okay? This song is called Splumpin'. Splumpin'? I don't know. I have no idea what that means, but I didn't name it, so that's cool. It's called Splumpin'. And you can see here that I already wrote in a little bit of my rhythmic notes at the beginning. So it starts out with this very rhythmic figure, and this comes back several times throughout the song. And it took me a while to figure out exactly how this groove is supposed to go, because I've never heard this song before. But I had to do some very careful counting. So I put this is where beat 1 is, and then this was a 1 beat rest, so I know this comes in on beat 2. And I did a little bit of math, and this dotted 8th plus this 16th, that makes a whole beat. So beat 3 must be right here, which is interesting because I've got these ties right here. But we'll look at that. And then 1/16 plus an 8th plus a 16th is another beat. So a 16th note is a quarter of a beat, and an 8th note is half a beat. So we have a quarter plus a half plus a quarter, and if you guys are good at math, you'll know that equals one whole beat right there. So that means beat 4 starts on this one, and then I have 4 straight 16th notes in my right hand. And then I worked out in my left hand, and my left hand was a little simpler. This has a half beat and then a whole beat, which means that beat 2 kind of happens in between here, because there's a half and then a whole beat, so that means that takes the second half of beat 1 and the first half of beat 2. And then this is the second half of beat 2, so then beat 3 is right here, and beat 4 is right there. And that all makes all kinds of sense, but then when I tried to put the hands together, it was so tricky that I had to make these little V shapes right here. And what the V shapes tell me is that that's where this note fits. This note is going to fit halfway between these two. And how did I know that? Well, 16th notes, there's 4 to a beat, right? So here's a 16th note, 1. And then here's the second 16th note, and this actually takes up 2 16th notes because it's an 8th note. And then this one is the 4th 16th note. And so, but this is a half note, so it goes right in the middle of the beat. So it goes after the first 2 16th notes and with the second 2 16th notes. So that sort of makes sense. It's kind of tricky. You have to really think about it. 16th notes you usually count 1 E and or like if you got 4 of them, 1 E and 1 E and 8th notes you usually count 1 and. So the and always goes together. 1 E and 1 and. Or 4 actually, these are 4. 4 E and 4 and. So this is the beat that was tricky. It had to go 2 E and 3 E and all of that was really hard for my brain to wrap around. So then what I did was I tried doing it on my drum. So that's why I started out with my drum here. So I'm got my drum with my one hand right here. But I'm going to show you the part that I'm playing is this beat right here. I'm going to go 1 E and 1 E and 1. Actually, it's 2. Starts on 2. I always get my numbers wrong when I'm saying them out loud. Sorry. I'm going to try and be better. All right. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 is what I'm going to try and do. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E. Sorry, it starts on a 2. 1, 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. So then I try and tap it. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and there, but I'm going to slowly try and speed it up until I get an idea of what this groove is supposed to sound like. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. Yeah. Is what it's going to sound like. Oh, see, I'm starting to sort of feel that now instead of having to count it. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. I'm starting to get an idea of what it feels like. And then the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's actually much easier for me to do. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then I'm going to put them together. And when I put them together, I got to go really slow at first to figure out the timing. But once I do, it actually sounds really cool. So I'm going to play it really slow for you and count it for you, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when you speed it up. It's pretty fun. Goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Did you hear that? That was really tricky for me to put together the first few times. I had to really go I had to go 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and then as I got into that groove, I could slowly speed it up, and I'm starting to get a feel for what this song is supposed to be. And once I sped it up, and I worked on this a bit to speed it up, it took a while, but when I play the whole thing, it sounds pretty cool. And that's the main groove for this whole song. It's pretty fun. It's a jazz rock kind of beat. It's even funner when you add the accents. There's a few accents in here, and the accents really bring it out the character. So I'm going to hit this second one a little bit harder, and also these two up here on the right hand. And if I really bring out this accent and then these two accents here, it makes it pretty extra exciting. So I'll show you what that sounds like when I do the accents. That's the groove for this song, and I'm going to play the rest of this song for you later. Splumpin'. So show me what you're practicing this week. Happy practicing, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.